This is a statement from the family. The Tomaszewski family is devastated by the tragic deaths of their neighbors, Richard and Julianne Velardo, and the fact that their son, Scott, has been charged with the commission of these crimes. Those of you who know Joe and Jeanette Tomaszewski know that they retired less than a month prior to this incident. During their professional careers in oncology medicine and research, Joe and Jeanette have dedicated themselves to life, the treatment, care, and healing of others. The very idea of death in this manner is incomprehensible to them. They are a family in shock and filled with sadness. Their deepest sympathy and prayers go out to the family, neighbors, and friends of the Velardos. At the same time, they are also in need of prayers and comfort as they try to navigate the weeks and the months of anguish and uncertainty that lie ahead for both families. Please give both families the privacy that they deserve and your prayers. Thank you.
What's your plan, sir?
I met with Scott for the first time yesterday. I haven't seen any of the evidence, so the plan is to review the evidence, and then we'll decide what we're going to do from there.
What was sitting down with Scott like? I mean, this has been a headline for weeks now.
Yeah, I really am not in a position to comment. We met, we discussed some things, frankly. I told him that I wanted to see the evidence before we got into any of the substance of what it is that's alleged here today. So we really didn't get into much detail yesterday other than prepare for the bond hearing today.
Why didn't you argue that his bond be lower?
Whenever you hear the prosecutor speak of the things that he spoke of, if you're any kind of trained in this area, you know that until you've had an opportunity to really review everything, including the evidence in the case, to offer anything up substantive would be kind of a waste of time. So I did tell the judge that we would come back before her if we saw something or knew something or learned something in the days ahead that caused us to revisit the issue of bond.
There's some pretty characterize Scott's demeanor as you met with him.
I really can't say. As I think he's very much in shock. I think he is bewildered, just like his folks are. He's trying to make sense of everything, and I'll know more about that as the days that we go forward.
There's some pretty damning evidence here against your client: the murder weapon, the alleged murder weapon, on-camera interview with the confession. What's the game plan moving forward here?
Well, again, I can't speculate. Anything I'd offer to you would be speculation. I won't know until I see the evidence. You know, the way the evidence is presented in a courtroom by way of a proffer that you just heard, that may be one thing, and the actual evidence turns out to be something else. So I won't know until I really review the evidence.
Mr. Kudel, the police say that this man has confessed to the killings. Does that give you a mountain to climb?
Certainly, I think if we use the word confession or admission, they mean the same, but admission or a confession is the highest form of inculpation that a person can offer to a crime. So if there was in fact a confession, then I think there would be a lot of work to do. But again, I don't know any of the details about any statement or admission or confession that he made other than what I've read in the newspapers. So when I have a chance to sit down and look at that, then I'll be in a better position.
Did he not talk about that when you met with him over the weekend?
No.
What did you talk about with him then?
Things that are confidential between he and I, again, mostly in preparation for the bond hearing today.
Why'd you take the case?
Why did I take the case? Because I'm a lawyer. I specialize or emphasize, my practice emphasizes criminal law. It's what I do. I've been doing it for 35 years.
Can you shed any light on the trip here last week? Was that a family? How would you characterize it?
It was, as I mentioned in the statement, the family, both Joe and Jeanette Tomaszewski, had retired from their occupations about a month prior to this. So this trip to Canada was a pre-planned event for them and for the members of their family. So, yeah.
A celebration of retirement.
Celebration of retirement, yeah.
What they do after Scott's arrest? There's a lot of curiosity if they continue with the trip, or...
Yeah, I don't know the details of that. I know that it took some time for them to get back, and they came back, and they cut the trip short for sure, but I don't know the details from moment of arrest until their return to Maryland.
Did they hire you?
They did. I'm retained.
Were you at all acquainted with the defendant prior to this?
Yeah, I can't say. I've never met the defendant. I know the family, but I've never met Scott.